Hello and welcome. Let's do a mid-afternoon video for cryptocurrencies. All bets trades of the like. Well, that's within each his own risk reward. My name is Derek, and let's begin as continuation of the symmetrical notion. Yeah, it's made a lower low today, but what have we seen? Well, at least since this morning, an attempt at 11 o'clock, but no go. Now it's trying to attempt to revert it, but thus far, it's holding and staying within this 18 average of lows. If you would have said back in April 1st, or someone would have said right in here, oh, by the way, would you be happy if, in, like, say, May 22nd, the price was at 78.57? I mean, you were just hoping that not only could it get to 63, but it wouldn't resist it. And, well, so far, it has held and stayed above 6,341. I'm going to be interested to see what comes next between these two numbers. My prediction, my guess, educated, calculated guess, I guess you could say, is that at 98.14. But I think it's a better bet that James Holzhauer, I think that's how you pronounce it, is going to win a whole bunch again tonight on Jeopardy. Although it's been pre-recorded, I know, yada yada. I, he has a strategy to win in Jeopardy and executes it. And if you can ever see something like that, if you can find a strategy in the crypto game that works, then when the time is there to execute it, it's a good idea. And if I was trying to make any type of bets upon this, well, I feel I got a decent chance of being right that it will pierce above here rather than below that. But we'll just let the market do what it does, and I'll keep adjusting to such. Theta, now that's fast. As I had 100 theta in here, but I've just withdrew 50 because I was able. Well, I noticed that on the Binance that it's available. I can withdraw T fuel. So I started off with 100. And then when they came in, I instantly took 50 of my theta, of the 100 that I had, and sent it back to Binance. It took about 2 minutes and 25 seconds, 2 minutes and a half, for 10 confirmations, which is how many is required. And then I got 99 point a whole bunch of nines because, well, I had to pay for one. So it seems it's really weird that both public addresses for Theta and Theta Fuel are the exact same. There we go. There's some. I was gonna say I should be expecting some more T fuel to come in soon, and I'm like, oh, do I? But I'm just gonna put in like 600 and like 17, I guess, or whatever it was left. Let's just put a small amount in. Now my next step will be to send all of my T fuel, and then all of my Theta, with the exception of about 20% of it, because I want to leave 20% of my Theta in Binance for a sell order. And now heading back to the markets, and just recently we're seeing a significant down move over the last 7 minutes, which is really from even the start of this video it was starting to do it. On the hourly, I was stating it was attempting to break down. We can see that it has. So this is a situation in which it broke down below this barrier. You'd be expecting it to go within the range of where it is now, which represents these two levels of support. We got this level of previous support in at 75.77. Any type of rallies, it's the 18 is where it becomes huge because that is that correctionary move. For if it comes up to it, touches it, gets close, starts to show weakness and starts pulling back down further, you can expect there to be another leg lower. If we can look at the most shortest term Fibonacci I can find, and this is where it isn't that good because of the mixture of lows. This is 6,600. And some exchanges are 6,000, some are 7,000. I can't go with any of them. So I'm not going to even calculate. I'm thinking about from the breakout, but for what it's worth, I think if this area gets broken, we're looking to go back to this area where we came from at around 73 and change. 73 higher, 73, 73. And on the 4 hour, 73 would be making a higher low to here. and it would be another breakdown from the 18. Like last time it did, it was here. So that's like I say, how's this first test going to be? On this case, the first test was it came up to the 18 highs and it grinded lower, thus supporting the lows. And then when it went above it, it had a good run above it, staying above it and holding the 8 list. But that's it. It didn't have really even not much of an attempt. This was the only attempt here many periods ago to break above it. And this is now really the first attempt. And it's still got a little bit more to go for a good attempt. And we look at how convincing is this lowest price to where the 18 lows is. It's got to be convincing enough. So that's where it's more arty or mathematic precise, meaning okay, this is this once this calculation is yada yada. That's too complicated. That I don't even want to get into it. But as it is, to me, it's still in this correctionary sideways move. But yeah, this to me looks like the likelihood of where it would go. You're still, if you're looking for a break above key levels, well, they're not here yet. And we've seen the last time, yeah, since it came down here, there not only hasn't even been a close above it, but I'm even looking for stuff like staying above it for a few periods, for going above it, coming back and supporting maybe the highs and starting to lift higher. These are the types of setups I'd be looking for as far as, okay, this thing is ready to get going. Now, again, in predicting what I think is next, because I'm saying, yeah, I think there's a better chance it goes close to 10,000 rather than that of below 63.42, because there's still a lot of layers for it to go to. If it goes in here, this is going to be an interesting situation because regardless of which low you go with, this one is a higher low because, as mentioned, this low is 66. Bitstamp was 6,000. Bitfinex and the tethers on many exchanges was like 7,000. But all those numbers are still higher, or lower rather, than this high, and that number of about 74, 73-ish ballpark area. If we start to see weakness amongst this area, then yeah, I'll be changing my mind a lot faster. But by no means, of course, am I betting such an event. Anyway, let's go into theta. And it's just a fun market when you can have these kinds of moves. Go from 1,200 up to over 5,000, back down to 1,100. Of course, unfortunately, when it broke down below 13, I wasn't really able to buy, but that's fine. And now it is had a small move attempt. It's still holding in the 18. It's a weight game. It's been a weight game for 2 days. It might continue to be so. Obviously, the volatility on the way down was very light, and that's even an understatement because it was quite low. But the overall movement meant that everything you sold on the way up was buyable back on the way down. So we got a resistance established level in here. That's 1688. 3x hit. It was hit here. And it was hit in the span of 2 consecutive hours at the 12 or periods on the 12 and 16. We'll see better or more clearly amongst the hourly. Yes, it's a 3x hit because, in fact, it's many x hits. Yeah, so this big level, 1685. Getting above that, especially you can get like a cup and handle type of stuff. Yeah, so you have this in here. Whenever you have a move down, you have a decent enough rally. You make that higher low, which is what this would be. When you make the higher low, it's basically a cup and handle. And you've already established resistance. That's what it needs to get above. But going back to the wallet, you need the T fuel in there. So if you are at a spot where you have theta and you don't need any T fuel, let me know. And I mean, they're worth like nothing. I can help you out for that. But yeah, to me, I'm going to probably keep a lot of them there. This way, I want to be the one that holds the private keys to it, not Binance. It's not that I don't trust them. It's just I would rather trust myself. And to have the option to be able to, okay, it's time to sell this coin. Okay, let's go to my wallet. Let's put my key store file in. Let's put my password in. Let's send what I need. Let's put my password in again. Let's wait about 2.5 minutes. Okay, they're there. Sell them on the market. And I'm trading this against LITECOIN, so let's buy LITECOIN, send that off, and it's like a store. Just like you need to bring money to the store with you to buy what you want, same sort of deal. That's how I'm bringing my money to it. But again, on the site in here, in order to send theta, it's going to cost 0.000001 T fuel. So it's, I mean, 1 or 0.002 is whatever, even less than that. You don't even need that if it's going to cost you like nothing. And that's what I like is the cheap transfer fees. It costs zero point zero 0.01 theta to take it off the exchange, so that's cheap. It costs 1 T fuel to take it off, but they're worth very little. They're not even worth a penny. So not cheap to take them off as well too. So I'll have a lot more theta in here in a few hours, minutes, whatever. I'll have all my T fuel on there, and now that's where I'll be when I need to get it because I can go to T fuel, I can go to send. I got 50, but there's a transaction fee. Now that I have my T fuel there, I can cover it infinitely with the amount that I have. And I'm still waiting for T fuel to come on the market so I can sell it at different times. But for now, I'll just keep them here. And loading this up, what's the price of this? It's looks like that's better. I think it was at the 7 handle. Now it's at the 8 handle. This is on Gate IO for T fuel. Maybe people are excited that they can actually now. That doesn't make take it off of Binance, but that doesn't make sense. Oh, 6.2. Okay, no. It's 8.2. It's up. Yeah, it's up from here. But that's the price of it. And what happened was you got 5 times the amount of T fuel you did for every theta. So what you can do is you can basically multiply this price by 5, and I'm doing that because I can't even see the price on here. 822. That screen's so small. So that makes it like 82, 4.44 cents per theta, which is like a dividend, something in that nature there. But if I were to sell on Gate.io, this is no big deal. I'd have to sell it for Tether. It's the only market there is, which is fine. But then I take Tether and I buy Litecoin or Bitcoin or whichever coin it be that I want after that. You have to do your KYC, know your customer, send your ID documentation, and I'm fine with that if I needed it or I really wanted to get it. But I still think that I just holding it might be a better investment strategy as far as getting better gains in the future. Maybe, maybe not. But like always, the only thing I can do is just let time do its course and just wait to see the price and what markets they're available on. Because if Binance puts it on their market to trade, this thing will probably have a good pump. And let's finish this off with most likely DGB and maybe a quick look at Bitcoin because of that big move that it had. DGB, I'm hoping can break 200. I really hoping it happens because that's what I need for a very good aggressive Litecoin BTC trade. Because the problem was that's not a problem, that's a good thing. This was just going straight down, and it meant buy it against Litecoin, buy it against whatever else, buy it against Bitcoin, buy. And then this went up, so I could sell some of it back for Litecoin, but if this goes up towards here, I'm going to make a good 40% trade swap on the ratio against Litecoin. But I'm probably going to need, of course, Litecoin dependent. I need a 4% move on the ratio, 5% move. So that would be like 10 basis points to go to 200. And I'd like to get better than that. But the market's only going to do what it's going to do. I like its setup on the daily. Has this move higher multiple days, grinding its way from the 18 highs to the 18 lows. Yesterday's session, getting back with the retest of previous level. It was a pierce below it because yesterday's high came in at 192, but this high came in at 193. But today's high is in at 195, so it's pierced above it now, which is really, I had the Fibonacci levels in. That's pretty much an exact fib hit. But now that I see what's been going on here, seeing this within the 4 hour and grinding the way it is, this 172-ish, but 172 ballpark area, even down to 170, the low 170s. Huge hold. That's where I had this level of resistance if it can hold and stay there. And of course, anything higher, the 18 and all that stuff as well. But this level of resistance, which was only hit once here on the 1600-hour time frame on the 4, has been hit multiple times, and I do have to see this on the single hour. So just even on this more recent term, since last night tonight, had this great gain last night going from 160 up to the 193, back down to the 180, finding support at the 18 lows. And now, since then, over the last several hours, here we have the breakout at noon today, and has spent the rest of this afternoon just hanging in there on the 18 average of highs, and really holding. I mean, I want to see in the short term now to hold 183, and so far it's done about 2 points better than that. It's held 185. So far, so good. But this level of resistance, of course, has been majorly established. There was a few times there and down towards here. It was just a one hit point in here. But when we put it this into this gear here, it has spent the entire run since the rally yesterday at 6 o'clock above the 178, which was a level on its way up. It hardly spent any time at all. So that's something I like to see. It goes up to a peak area, it pulls back, and then it just holds and stays in that general area for a good period of time, and that's what it has done so far. So yeah, breaking this level of resistance at about 195, 196. I'd be looking forward to go to like well over 2, which is interesting because it's probably going to work out that 202, 203 is where I should mathematically ratio trade. But I'm probably going to, based on the conditions, be like, well, if it gets there, it's probably going to get to like 208, 209, 2010, and look to get a trade somewhere around that area there. And yeah, so that's the DGB. Let's finish this off within the Bitcoin. It's well, Bitcoin dominance, anything of note here. Fibonacci has just been magnificent. I mean, I just put these in. We'll see what happens. What we're seeing, what's happening on the 1 hour term time frame. It's found some support and all that stuff there. Now, Bitcoin 78.15 has rallied a bit up since the low. So on the single hour time frame so far, I mean it's now second time it's had a shot this hour to break down below the 18, and so far it's holding and staying above that area. If we look at this on a 5 minute time frame and now the 1 minute, just wild intraday movement here. 79.21 down to up and down, all these moves as you can see. But as far as technical analysis is concerned, do I have Coinbase on? Yes, let's change that. Let's go to whatever one this one is because it doesn't matter if it's Bitstamp or Bitfinex because it's all the same. Therefore, we come up to here. Does it resist it? Not really, no. Next one, 18 highs. It pierces above it. So now it comes back to, well, one of those areas, the 18 lows. Immediate, in 2 minutes, comes back to this area, and now for the last 4 or 5 minutes has been holding amongst this area. So now we're seeing this a little bit of green movement here going up. Still, I mean, it's going up. It's still got to get above this level of resistance. But if it does, and we see on a short term that something like this were to occur, and then price action is to engulf its way into great gains, that's a pretty decent failed breakdown. And probably that could be setting up for some interesting evening and night activities and into Thursday. With that being said, again, though, it's still from this point A breakdown of the 18 to the point B lows to the point C correction. It's still doing that. So it's either got to win the correction and break above this level, which it's getting very, very close to now, or it fails. And we see weakness in the area now with the 18 lows, which is like high 77s down to 77.64. See it falling, breaking down below that. Well, and if I wish it didn't do that, I just wanted to go like this. If the price is hanging in there around here, and of course right now it's doing the opposite, then we can basically make a good calculated guess that this low will be taken out and some sort of one below it. But what's happening now, and of course you're gonna do this to me. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this video. One, do I just wrap it up in the next 50 seconds as this is happening? How much time are we at right now? 19 minutes and 24 seconds. I'm going to wrap it up. What I was going to do is, do I pause this and just go back and forth and try to make it a 24, 25-minute video? And I'll probably end up making it 33 or 35. And I'm not going to do that. That's been long enough as it is already. But yeah, it's showing like it's. I'm liking its setup. So thank you for tuning in. And let's go DGB. Let's see this 210, 220, 230 action. And let's go like 300 next day, 400 type of days. Yeah, maybe not tomorrow, but at least if we could get like 220, of course. It's almost like, hey, Raptors, you're playing Milwaukee. You tied the series. You haven't beat them in Milwaukee yet. And this is NBA basketball. Go Raptors. There's nothing I can do to control their play. Just like there's nothing I can do to control the movements of these indices. And when I do have some control, it's not much at all. As okay, let's go ahead and buy DGB. I'm going to buy $500 worth, and it's probably going to be $100 or $200, and that's not even going to really move the market at all. But it participates in its overall movement. But I can't. I can cheer for it how I want. And in this game, oh, DGB goes up to 212. I can react to it. But if the Raptors happen to be leading uh, or winning, I can just watch and hope for the best. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye. Go Raptors.